Ready? I hate coming out of your house, bro.
Why? You can't drive?
I just got to Utah, man.
What?
Got some crayons right there.
Why you can't back up?
Nah, man, because the last time, well, it was nighttime. I was back into, the little...
The ditch? Oh,
yeah.
You ain't getting out of there. Too many niggas I done seen in this cul-de-sac get their car like them niggas that Uber Eats niggas.
Yeah.
They getting stuck in them ditches and can't get the fuck out.
Go for some nuggets.
Yep. What's up? I'll be back.
What you want, man?
I'm going somewhere. Where you going? Oh, what you want? You good? Okay. Who is that, Legend?
You been in the sun, bro.
What up, fellas? Hey, man, I'll be back, man. Get out of here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Beat it.
Do you remember how we met?
We met through Lynette, right?
Right. But do you know where we met?
It was in Philly. It was at her house.
No. The first time we met.
I thought I did.
This part might be cut.
Why?
From the video.
Which video?
From this interview. And I'm not Fat Joe in the situation.
Okay. You lying?
Huh?
Are you gonna lie?
No.
You fabricating?
Nah.
Okay, go ahead.
But we met in Greenbelt.
In Greenbelt?
In Greenbelt at what's her name? Michelle's house.
Oh yeah. Okay. From Philly.
Yes.
Yeah. And was it at one of her like after homecoming not cookouts, but she usually makes some stuff?
No.
It wasn't there? It
No.
wasn't there? Oh.
No. You don't remember the event that she was having at her house?
Nope. Remind me.
So you and I wasn't there for this.
Okay.
You were there to see them because Lynette was in town.
Right.
I came over because Lynette said this would be a good time for you to meet Trey.
Okay.
It was a sex toy party.
Oh, I do remember that. I wasn't there for that.
Right.
Just so we're clear. I mean, but I was single back then, so if I was there for that, so what? But I wasn't there for that. Now that you mention it, I should have been there for that. You know what I mean? As a single guy, of course.
Right.
But damn, okay. And then so it was from there. From then on. What year was that?
I don't even know.
Was that in the 90s?
No. It was in the
2000s?
It was in the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So okay. So it's been 20 years then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is a long-standing friendship. I like that. That's
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
So I want to, I'm a producer. So a lot of these questions might be producer based, even though you're an artist. First album. What was your budget for that?
Budget for the first album. I can tell you what we spent. We spent about 1.3.
How many of that was on sample clearance?
I couldn't tell you, man. See, that's a part of the problem because, as an artist, first-time artist, green to the situation, and I feel like at that time, my whole goal was just to get signed. I paid no attention to none of the business aspect of it. So, I should know this. I should know what is going out the door and how much I gotta recoup, you know what I'm saying, before I can start getting, or how much they gotta recoup before I start getting paid. Better watch this. Yeah. 30 miles an hour, sir. So,
Gotcha.
So I never paid attention to that. I knew money was going out, but I think at the end of the day, the budget, and this is including videos, this is including travel, this is including all the car service, this is including all the pizza and meals that we had while in the studio, this is including wardrobe for all of the videos and all of that. I think the total was like 1.3, and I think we only made, I was like maybe 700,000 in the hole. So for people that don't understand how that works, is that it gets rolled over into the second album.
Right.
So it's that plus whatever the budget is for the second album that they got to recoup before you start seeing a dime of the sales. So to answer your question, sir, I have no idea.
Okay. All right. So, the Buchanans.
Yeah.
The song they produced the song with you and Big.
No, they didn't.
No.
That was Ike Lee III. Shout out to Ike Lee
Oh,
III.
my bad.
The Buchanans did Jay-Z's version.
Okay. But even though they used the same sample,
Yep.
and Jay used a Big verse.
Yep.
You don't see anything from that because you don't own the master, correct?
I should see something from it because of the publishing aspect. You can't detach me from the record that the verse came from, or that the lines come from.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with the if they were to use the record, then that's the master use. But they use lyrics from a record off of the master,
right,
which still includes me. Even if they were to use the record itself, I'm still a part of the master.
You're still a writer.
I'm still a writer on the record. So I own publishing on the record. So whatever derives from that record, I get a piece. Have
you seen
No.
anything from
No.
Def Jam?
No. I mean, Puff did the same thing. He took Big's lyrics off the record, put it on the joint with Red and Meth, and Premier redid the beat. But I see something from that. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. He took those lyrics off of the master, didn't use it was part of the master, but he took the lyrics off of the master, didn't use none of mine, right? It's on a new record, but I still see publishing from it because it came from our record.
Okay. How much did Big charge you? Well, let me put it like this. How much did Puff want to charge you for the verse, and how much did Big actually charge you for the verse?
I don't know what Puff, that's something Mark negotiated, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was not a part of the, let's be clear. Again, because of where I was at that stage in my career, I got on. That's the victory for me, right? So anything dealing with the business, which is my mistake, but anything dealing with the business, I was unaware of. I was oblivious to. You know what I'm saying? So, and to be frank, I really didn't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm on that. Now I get to prove to the world that I'm the greatest MC of all time. And that was my main concern. So what I just happened to get whispers of, or it just happens to come up in conversation of some of the things from a business perspective that I happen to know. Now, what Mark and Puff negotiated, I have no idea. I did hear that Big got paid $10,000, which is actually very, very cheap for a prime notorious B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the affiliation. That's because Mark's his manager. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, you know, you generally you're not going to break the bank on an internal connection. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what was talked about, what certain people asked for initially, what, you know, Puff might have wanted, I have no idea, bro. None. Zero. And that goes for primarily most things dealing with the business aspect of the many faces out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So when you recorded that album, Doug Morris was in charge of
He was the
Universal?
big dog. He was the big dog. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He was the big dog.
How did he feel about your album?
I don't know. I don't think he cared, man. Honestly, I mean, he's about profit sharing. He's about returns and losses. So I don't think he really give a damn about anything that came out of the system. As long as it was making him money,
right,
then that was the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And anything that wasn't making money, they was writing on. So, you know what I mean? From a tax perspective, he could care less. You know what I mean? Like, second album, even with the losses on the first album, okay, cool. We'll write it off. Second album, we definitely write it off because we got Cash Money and Nelly that we got to balance the books on them two because they bringing in all the dough. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else,
two artists are keeping the lights on.
Yep. Not even necessarily keeping the lights on. It's it's balance. It's business. So you don't want to pay the taxes on that kind of a profit. So you gotta have the losses. That's the name of the game in business, period. They wasn't keeping the lights on. This is just business practices. If we're gonna make all this paper off of them, we gotta have some L's. We got to. There will be some sacrificial land. We're gonna make sure of that. So we won't push them, we won't push them, we won't push them, we won't push them, because we're making all the money off of them. So we gotta even that out.
An artist being a tax write-off is a real thing.
It's business practice. If you own a business, you better have write-offs. It's a must. Otherwise, Uncle Sam coming to get you. Period. Gonna take all the guap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just standard business practices, and these are the things that artists don't get and don't understand. And everybody thinks that they are going to make it. They're going to be the sellers. Nah, it ain't designed that way. Only a couple people gonna make it out of there, and they only gonna make it out of there for a certain amount of time. It's very rare that you have legacy cats coming out of these companies. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else is designed for you to lose. You know what I mean?
Whose idea was the commission?
Oh, I think that was a big thing. Like, again, me being green to the business, I had all of this information is coming out about me possibly being with the commission, or at least making records with the project that they were working on.
So
all of that's new to me.
The commission would have been you, Black Rob,
Big, whatever your man Gene Deal said.
Oh. Shout out to Gene Deal.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever information came out from that, which I think there's some truth and then there's some fabrication. You see what I'm saying? Because when I talked to Dot told me, I don't know about you being a part of the commission, but what I do know is that it's not far-fetched, because Big like what you did and what you do, and he thinks you're a dope MC. So it's not far-fetched for him to have seen some type of paperwork where you were definitely opening up for the Life After Death tour. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, talking about me, I was definitely opening up for that. And then it's not far-fetched for them to want you to be on a few songs that, even if you weren't a part of the commission, quote unquote, you were going to be on some of the records that they were going to create. So, right. you know, it could have been a situation where I was a part of it, or it could have been an affiliation thing. I don't know for sure. I don't think nobody, everything is hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Gene Deal said he saw paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to say that he didn't see it? I wasn't there.
And I think the project was going to be produced by Buck Wild or something.
You telling me new information. I have no idea of none.
That would have been crazy.
It would have been crazy. But I think it would have just been more than Buck Wild. I think it would have been a plethora of producers. Come on, man. You don't think Dot would have got a beat on that? You don't
Premier.
think, Premier would have got tracks on that? Like, come on, man. All the Primo, all the creme de la creme producers, just like they did with Nas's album, would have been on that project. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, all of that is that, and I made a song called Footsteps, where it's kind of like I tied it up. I put it all together.
I like that song.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's not unreasonable to believe any of what Gene said. You know what I mean? From my perspective. Like I said, how much I would have been involved is just a question of how much. You know what I'm saying?
What beats did you hear come through the studio that you wish you would have rapped on, but somebody else got them?
That's a good one. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that came through the Crazy Cat camp. And for those people that don't know about that camp, that was a Derek D. Angeletti situation where he had artists like Lady May and Picasso Black and Fierce and I was an affiliate. I was still signed to Universal, but I was doing stuff with them, and that was the humble beginnings of collaboration with Dot and 50 Cent. Kanye West was one of the producers in the camp. Coptic and Charlemagne, the original Charlemagne.
Yeah.
The real Charlemagne. Shout out to Charlemagne.
The Bronx Charlemagne.
I ain't talking about the cat that's on the Breakfast Club. We're not talking about him. Let's be clear. But there was a lot of material that came through that camp that I know landed in various places. I can't pinpoint anything singular that came out of there. There was one track I think Dot for the Tupac verse. I think Busta was on it. There was a beat that came through there, and it may have been used on the Born Again project. That the big joint, Diamonds on My Neck, Home Drop Top. They get in the scene with the gangsta. I think there was a track that might have been used for that I was like, oh, that's crazy. There's some other Kanye placements in there. But it was not only that, but there was a bunch of beats that I know that Guru had. And this was in the transition stage for me after I got dropped from Universal, but I was working on independent projects. And Guru had access to a bunch of stuff from Denon Porter to Ninth Wonder to Bank. I still got a gang of them joints in my computer that I listen to from time to time. But I know it was one in particular that De La used that I was trying to work on, and I think it was I forget the song that it was, but I was like, and I can. The funny thing is, when I was starting to write to it, I could hear De La on that, and they snatched it. You know what I'm saying? They definitely snatched it.
They probably used it for the last album that they did on
not the crowdfunding joint.
No. The one before that.
No, it wasn't for that one. It was for one of the not Bionics. It was what was the one after the Bionics joint? It was probably one of the like all of them joints to me was hot.
That's the one they had the Dilla beat on there with Premier Scratching. What was that?
What was the one with
Yummy singing the hook?
Yeah, that album. With MF Doom on it.
Oh, that was J1 joint.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't that beat though.
Right.
But it was on that album. That beat that I'm talking about, that I was starting to work on, was on that album. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up. I'm using this phone. Hold up.
It was on that album, and if I heard it, I would know. I would know exactly which one it was. But yeah.
Damn.
But like I said, Rue still he had just a bunch of records. Bunch of beats, should I say, tracks, just sitting in there, because this is prime Jay-Z, so everybody's sending him stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
You talked about being courted by Eric Sermon before the
courted. Come on, man. I'm not a chick, bro.
Well, you know what I mean.
Nah, you can't use the words, man. I wasn't being courted.
You were being pursued.
There was an
Look
interest.
That.
There was an interest. I wasn't courted. I wasn't being courted, man. But yeah, E. Sermon. Yeah, shout out to E. Sermon.
Man, did you ever think about if you had joined Eric Sermon, like what them Death Squad records would have sounded like?
Oh, back then? Oh yeah, all the time. Especially, working with a Redman. Like we talking about a 93, 94 Redman. Come on, man. Like Red, and I told Red this, and I say this on interviews. He's probably the last biggest influence. Like, there's influences that I have in my career. They are the beginnings of Melly Mel and a Kumo D and a Grandmaster Caz. This is when lyricism started to take shape. Then you get LL, probably the biggest influence in my rap career. I was a super fan of LL Cool J. Still am to this day. Shout out to LL, Rock the Bells, all that. Then you get the trilogy of Rakim, G-Rap, and KRS-One. Huge influences, and Big Daddy Kane. should I say the four-headed monster.
Right.
All four of the influences, along with Chuck D. That's the Super Five. So then you get the Ice Cubes and the Scarfaces of the world, and that rounds out my 8, including LL, which is my top 8. You know what I'm saying? And then, and this is post Melly Mel, Kumo D,
Right.
Cash, right? But then after that, I believe the one person that was the influence on me before I started to take shape in my MCingship or MCmanship was Redman. And the reason why is because I'm a big fan of pockets, I'm a big fan of flow, I'm a big fan of vocabulary, and I'm a big fan of just different. And I think at the time, Redman dropped in 92. At the time, Redman was the most unique MC that I had heard. And this is around when the Wu dropped. Wu dropped when he dropped before Wu, right?
I think so.
Wu dropped in 93. I want to say, or was it 92? Either way, it was around the same time. But I was always a fan of E. Sermon's production and Parishman's production. And I think the compliment of their production with the Redman flow and the way he attacked the record and the different, like this was during the grimy era, this is the Onyx era.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just a thing where it was like, yo, who is this dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so he was probably the last influence in the cultivation of what Trey Lee would, or what, you know, Tracey Lee will become. You take all of those cats that I named, you sprinkle in a little Redman, and voila, here comes the beginning stages of what Trey Lee would be. And now, you know, I of course I'm distinct from all of them now,
right.
But everybody coming up in the game has an influence. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that those people that I named, and Redman was the last person. So I'm like, damn, if I get signed to, you know, Death Squad, Eric Sermon, oh my God, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Headbanger is totally different now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. So yeah, man, shout out to Red, man. I don't know if you know the extent, but I think I've told you before, you were definitely an influence in my humble beginnings and upbringing as a professional MC, and not just, you know what I'm saying, somebody that could rhyme. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, let's switch gears. Top 5 Philly anthems. Rap.
Oh, Kick the Ball, number 1 for me. PSK.
PSK's not number 1?
Okay, it's a 1A and 1B.
Okay.
It's a 1A and 1B. Because if you from Philly and you know when Kick the Ball is so sacred, like it's truly, like people know around the globe what PSK is by now. People have used it, sampled it, blah, blah, blah. Kick the Ball is specific to the Delaware Valley. It's specific to Philly. It's specific to Wilmington, Delaware. It's specific to Camden, New Jersey, Chester, PA. You know, Vineland. It's specific. Willingboro. You know what I mean? Cherry Hill. It's specific. Only those people, only us, we know that record. You go outside of that, just Kick the Ball. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like a 1A, 1B. PSK, of course, huge. Schoolie D, you know, started the whole West Coast movement, you know what I'm saying? But Kick the Ball is fact specific to our region. Okay. So it's those two. It's
1A and 1B.
1A, 1B. I gotta go, My Part of Town. You know what I'm saying? Tough Crew, My Part of Town. That's 3.
Okay.
Tough Crew, My Part of Town. Let me see, 4.
We're entering dangerous territory now.
I'm gonna say, oh, I'm tripping. Brand New Funk. Brand New Funk might be number 3. Then My Part of Town number 4.
Okay.
Brand New Funk, Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, and then number 5. Sheesh. I'm gonna have to go. I'm not even gonna say Funky Dividends. I'm gonna say Greatest Man Alive. EST, the Unusual Fellow.
Yeah, Nicholas one.
Landscaping. Mentally
shaped.
Come on, man. EST to me, like, like he was the lyrically. I mean, Prince was the entertainer. Fresh Prince was the entertainer. He could rock a crowd better than anybody coming out of Philly. Him and Jeff on the stage, on the grand stage. Steady B was Steady B, solid. You know what I'm saying? He was dope. But to me, EST lyrically was the first cat that out of Philly, just lyrically, and just the way he got in the pockets was like the guy for me coming out of Philly.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
The remix for No Words.
Come on, man. Man.
I broke the tape on that.
Yeah, he was the guy for me, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to ES. Shout out to 3 Times Dope.
3 Times Dope. Shout out to Larry Laird.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Woody Wood, all that, man.
Yeah.
You know
Chuck Nice.
Chuck Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? Shout out to Philly Period, Tap Money, all that, man.
Miz.
Cash Money, Marvelous, Miz, Perry P. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of them. Lady B. Who set it off for everybody. Lady B set it off for everybody. First record to come out of Philly. You know what I mean? Female, understand that. Woman, queen. Gave us all the opportunity on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lady B. Undeniable. MC Breeze, all that.
Breeze. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? All that. Event Money, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Breeze, man. Breeze was another one of those, like, Philly breeds MCs.
For sure. From the beginning, man.
Like without EST, Breeze, and some of the other people you name.
Bahamadia.
Yeah. We don't have Freeway, we don't have Beans.
No. Sure don't. We don't have me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be clear. You know what I mean? So when we go back to, we was talking about Redman, like I said, ES was before Redman. ES was the guy, again, in the late 80s, when people was talking about, like, like I said, Prince was the most well-rounded. But if you just talking like just straight, like this is no Philly dude, you know what I mean? Like, ES was the guy, and he had the style, he had the cut with the gumby on the side, you know what I'm saying? Was that before Bobby or after? I don't know. It's debatable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who started.
I think it was before.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's before, even if it wasn't. I'm gonna say it's before. Yeah.
That's a solid list right there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the artist that you never got a chance to collab with that you wish you did?
There's a couple of them, man. There's a couple of them, especially now that I'm at this stage. Before I looked at them as not necessarily competition, but I wanted to hold my own before we collab. But I mean, Big was big because I was developing a rapport and a relationship with Big before, you know what I'm saying, because he was listening to the records before I even got signed. So I kind of like don't count him because I knew that was gonna be. But Nas, all the cats that everybody considered to be the best, number one, Nas, Jay, Thought, you know what I'm saying, Monch, Pharrell, And these are guys that I, hold in high regard as far as like being lyrical monsters. You know what I'm saying? G-Rap, you know what I'm saying? Rakim, Kane, Chuck, LL, all the guys that I'm calling my heroes. You know what I'm saying? But to keep it specific to the peer group, I would love to do a record with Master Ace and OC.
That could probably happen.
Oh, I'm gonna make it happen. I talked to Ace. I talked to Ace. I follow OC on the gram. I'm gonna make that happen. I just, Billy Dance. What I mean? Like, he just.
That's crazy.
He just put the new joint, the scripture. He just put scripture, in his stories. Hit him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is peer group stuff. I would love to do records with cats like that. You know what I mean?
MOP happened on the scripture remix.
Yeah. 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 Like,
you know what's crazy about MOP? Like, what's the song that they did with Jay? That Just Blaze did.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You don't know?
Yeah.
I don't even listen to the original no more.
Nah, man. MOP is the most. They're one of the top 5 most underrated MCs and groups or duos of all time.
If I.
They sound. See, I'm always a fan of people that sound like the record when they're on stage.
Yes.
They sound like the record when they're on stage. Performance is impeccable. You have to sound like singers have old school singers, OG singers. That's one of their pet peeves with the new singers that come out. They don't sound like the records when they're on stage. That's the same thing with MCs. You gotta sound like the record. Why even perform it? Like, if you're gonna perform it, you're gonna get in a booth. Do it like you're doing it on stage, and sound like it when you get on the stage. So MOP, man, incredible. Shout out to them.
If you want your verse to be totally buried, get MOP on the song.
Right. Fame and dance, man. Come on, man. Fame and dance, man.
Nigga, if they go first, nobody's listening to the third verse.
Nope, except for me.
Yeah.
You better listen. Nah, but to your point, you better come with your A game. Don't go in there if you ain't coming with your A game.
I listen to what's the gangsta song? We Got Guns.
Yeah.
Dog. I think I want to say Billy Dance comes after Guru. Like, I don't even listen. Like, I'm a Guru fan, gangsta fan,
but that's a contrast. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Guru with his style
before Dance,
and before either one of them. You gotta have Guru go first. I mean, and that's no slight to Guru. It's just, if you're producing that record, you can't have Guru go after them. Just because of the contrast in style.
You can't have nobody go after them.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to.
Well, Busta can go after them.
Well, he got a similar energy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I did a record with Busta too.
No.
What do you mean? The theme remix.
Yeah.
We shot a video.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the remix.
I ain't gonna say a lot of people were. It was different. I know it's Chicago, they love the remix.
Really?
Because it's an Earth, Wind, and Fire sample. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nasheem. Yeah, that's an Earth, Wind, and Fire sample. With the zigga zigga zigga. So it was that bounce, it was that bass. Boom, 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 boom. So it moved in a different direction.
Yeah.
Of course, the theme original, that track is crazy. Shout out to Bon Lawrence, D-Dot, Angeletti who did that. But Nasheem did the remix, and I think it's just, I put it to you like this. If you would have put them side by side at the same time, I think there would have been a regional divide. I honestly believe that.
You know what I do like about that song? Your man, Pie.
Oh, he killed that. Oh, he killed that. Pie on the tap that ass.
Oh, man.
Feel me? Smacking that ass.
I
Yeah,
do- I
shout
do-
out to
I do-
P.I.
Yeah,
Just
I
had a
do like
birthday.
P.I.
Salute to him. Look at the time.
Oh,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
we
saying?
got to start heading back.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah, me and Buster was on that. Let's get up, let's get down. People get lifted down. Reap some Buster.
We
man.
talked the other day. You have a song with on the Crew album,
Yeah. Blunts and Bach.
which I never heard.
Blunts and Bach and Kimi. You know what I'm saying?
Who's the person the female on this? Antoinette.
Antoinette's on that record.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
We talking about 10% this Antoinette.
Yep, absolutely. And that I think that was my first guest appearance. It was either them or turn around. No.
Yeah.
You gotta make a U-turn.
Yeah.
You gotta go back that way.
That's right.
What are we doing here? You're about to get on the highway. You know what I mean?
About to go over the Bay Bridge.
Right. But no, I think that was my between them and Changing Faces. I did a guest appearance with them. Oh,
Half Plenty soundtrack, right? Was that
no, that's Queen Pen.
Okay.
I did a record with Queen Pen. Shout out to Queen Pen. But them, Changing Faces, and there was another guest appearance that I did before the album even dropped. Born in August. That was another group that Marcus signed.
What was the name of it?
The name of the group was called Born in August. The name of the record was called April Love. We shot a video for it and all that.
Did it come out?
Yeah, it came out. I got the video on my phone. I'll show you I'll send you the joint. But it's out there on YouTube or whatever. You should have got off right here and made a U-turn, man. You tripping. We got to get back there in 8 minutes. Look at you. Anyway, but nah, we did a song with Crew, man. CRU.
Shout out to Yogi.
Shout out to Yo. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Blunts and Bach and Kimi. I went on right after Antoinette. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time I met Antoinette. We sat in the studio. We was cool for a long time, man. We used to have all types of conversations. You know what I mean? Where you at, Nat? Where you at, man? What's up with you? But yeah.
I gotta take this. Next. Oh, is there a light up here?
1 mile, bro. Exit 10.
Alright.
But yeah, that was dope. Get over.
Yes, sir. Trying to be safe.
I hear you. So when you go back, you just take this all the way. I'll show you how to get there.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep asking questions.
When you came out of college with your degree, what was the plan?
Plan was to get a record deal.
Oh, so you still wanted a record deal? No, I'm talking about when you went back to school.
Oh, you talking about when I got to become a lawyer?
Yeah.
You talking about when I went to law school?
When you got out of
What
law
was the
school.
plan when I came out of law school?
Yes.
Well, I had a couple plans. First plan was to become an agent. So I tried to get interns with, or at least entry-level positions with sports agents that were in the mix. You know, I became a part of BESLA, which is the Black Entertainment and Sports Law Association,
Okay.
which you know, they have conferences all over the country every year where, you know, it gives you an opportunity to network and meet and greet and all this other stuff. So, you know, I tried to make some connections there, and then I went and took the and passed and became an NFL agent. I passed the I took the test, had my NFL agent's license for about a year, but that is a very expensive situation because not only do you have to pay annual for the license, but you also have to pay annually for the insurance, and then you have to have paper in order to pull in the clients because you're in competition with a lot of these cats that come in with all types of trinkets and toys that they can dang in front of these young kids, and you're really battling the uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fight trying to jockey for their attention.
Let's say any one of these is just keep straight.
Annapolis, going south, 97.
Oh, next left.
Yeah. So then, after that, you know, that was during the we were in a recession, and so by that point, you want to make this left. So at that point, man, there was really no jobs out there. You know what I'm saying? And especially where I was trying to get to, like the positions or the people that I was trying to get in front of, you know, they essentially didn't have, you know, you got like hundreds and hundreds of new attorneys that's trying to fight for this one position here or one position there. So, you know, it got to the point where, you know, I started doing like not odd jobs, but, you know, one-offs. You know, I did some work with, you know, through a contact of mine, my cousin A. Miles and his wife, Jim Bowie. You know what I'm saying? She had a lot of connections in the industry. So I started doing one-off situations with, you know, some of the clients that she was rocking with, like Kelly Rowland and Solange Knowles. And,
Okay.
Then I started, you know, there was a situation with a company that Kobe Bryant was dealing with. I did some work with them. Then, you know, there were my friends that needed some legal work, like Young Guru and Eric Roberson. As you can see, I have him on the shirt, Music from Your First. My favorite Eric Roberson album. You know, we've done a lot of music together. But, you know, did some legal work for him. Algebra Blessed, a lot of independent R&B artists that a lot of people know. And then, you know, because they were one-offs, it was nothing stable. We still had to get some income coming in. So, you know, I wound up working at Panera Bread, man, as an attorney. You know what I'm saying?
And when we met, that's where you were working.
Yep. And in the meantime, you know, still looking for employment.
Still
right here.
Okay.
Still looking for employment. So, you know, and then also doing like some legal work with regards to redacting paperwork during like discovery. So we would read through, when I was in the room with a bunch of lawyers, we were redacting certain information from out of documents and stuff like that. It's called document review. So we did some of that work before we finally landed a gig doing contracts for the government. Go straight.
Keep straight?
Yep.
All right.
But my plan was to become a sports agent. And then, you know, still be able to do work within the industry for up-and-coming artists and create my own situation. Not necessarily a firm, but, you know, be that go-to guy to give legal consultation to people that are coming up in the game, novices in the game that just need a basic understanding. You know what I'm saying?
I think you would still be successful because you come from where they come from.
Right. Absolutely.
Like a lot of lawyers can't identify with the ghetto or the hood of growing up,
right.
You know, being disenfranchised.
Right. Absolutely. So there would be a certain amount of empathy, sympathy.
Tough love.
You know what I mean? Definitely tough love. I mean, because I'm going to give them the real.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but what's funny is when you're a young, hungry artist, even when you are standing in front of and having a conversation with somebody that's been in your shoes, you still think that it's going to be different because you're doing it.
Right.
And that's the, you know, that's you being young and naive and ignorant because it's the unknown. You don't know. But I'm telling you, it's just like when your parents tell you don't do that. I've done that before. You be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Same type of concept, same type of situation. Pause that real quick. I need to talk to him, call him up, let him know.
I forgot what the fuck I was going to ask you. But I think you had done, you were finished talking about the lawyer.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, we were talking about tough love.
Yeah.
We were talking about, me being the perfect type of person to be able to give them consultation because I was in their shoes and been where they've been, and and I told you, even with that though, your kids are hard headed. You know what I'm saying? They think that you don't know nothing. That happened back in that day. That is different now, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
When you were recording with Dot and okay, I'm assuming you guys were recording in New York.
Yeah.
Now,
Some in DC too.
oh really?
Night flights. Shout out to Scotty, man. Shout out to Scotty
Rest in
B.
peace, Scotty.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, Scotty is the one. He was my first producer. Like that was we're going back to the spring of '89, fall of '89, spring of '90.
Is this the L Rock stage?
Yeah, this is the L Rock stage. L Rock was my name in high school, and it just carried over. I had 3 different names. I've had 3 names in my life: MC Lee, L Rock, and then Tracey Lee. I got signed as L Rock, and then they changed it after I got signed.
They just said, "Fuck it, just use your real name."
I mean, because L Rock was super old school in '96.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
DJ Iron.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Iron.
Shout out to Iron.
He said you had a beat stolen from you off of your demo that was used for major artists.
Yeah, that was '93. That was the joint that Eric Sermon had heard, and that's what piqued his interest. It was a song called "I Walk Away from the Bullshit." Now, when it's a sample, nobody owns the sample except for the people that own the sample, that own the record. Right. That was a Curtis Mayfield sample, and I think it's "Just Be Good to Me." I think that was the name of the record. Let me get it straight. But anyway, you know the song. Boom, 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 boom. Dum, 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 dum. That's the bass line, right? So there's a song called "I Walk Away from the Bullshit." I did that record at this show. Eric Sermon was there. He lost his mind. He was like, "Yo, da 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 da." And that's when the talk started to become. My manager at the time was Malik. Shout out to Malik. But yeah, it was on the demo, so we were shopping the demo. And so the demo gets around. This is '93. So, we get into '94, and I called Jarrell, my man Jarrell, and he's down in Atlanta at the time. Now, he's in the studio or next to the studio, but he hears that same sample coming out of a room. And, I believe Trackmasters was working down there at the time. Puff was down there at the time, because it's a whole L.A. Reid connection, and right. The studio things that's going on and all that. But again, we're shopping the demo, so the demo definitely got to Puff. You know what I mean? Because we shopping at the Bad Boy at the time. We're shopping it everywhere, and the record is dope. And so we hear a couple months later. If I can to know when it's time. And I'm like, hold on. Now, again, we don't own any samples, but the way the record was cut, the way the sample was cut, we had drums, like heavy drums. This is hip hop, so we got heavy drums under ours. And I'm not, I don't own that sample, but can't nobody make me not believe that they didn't get their hands on that joint and be like, yo, this is crazy right here. What if we take, now the record is spectacular. Mary's joint is spectacular. It's undeniable. It's a hit. It's a classic. It's a timeless joint. But anybody that was around in our circle at that time, and come on, man. How Pac say, I may not be the one that, I sparked the flame, we sparked the flame. Shout out to Parlay, who's the one that found the sample, and my DJ, and we co-produced records together at the time. But yeah, we definitely sparked the idea. There's no question about it, you know. But people do it all the time. I mean, to this day, you know what I'm saying? People take people's ideas, people trying to get on, they'll get a hold of something from somebody and then they'll use it and make it their own. You know what I'm saying? Without, you know, incorporating and all the other stuff. So, you know, at the time we were definitely bitter. Definitely. So I made another record right after that, dissing that whole operation. You know what I mean? But now it's like, you know, that was what, 30 years ago, man?
Did you ever meet them?
Who?
Trackmasters.
Tony Poe, yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever bring this story up?
Nah, not really, because at the time, it didn't come out till later, but at the time, like, this was in the beginning of Tony Poe. This ain't Trackmasters.
Okay.
When you know them as Trackmasters. They weren't even called Trackmasters.
This when Tone was rapping.
This is right after he was rapping, but this is when Puff was using them as producers before he created the Hitman.
Okay.
This was pre-Hitman. This was his Hitman before Hitman. So he was going to them, you know what I'm saying, for production. You know what I mean? But nah, shout out to Tony Pope, shout out. But again, and matter of fact, yeah, keep on straight. I would love to have that conversation. Like, yo, where'd you hear that? If I saw Tony Pope right now, I'd be like, yo, when you came up, and I don't want to, and this had to be, you know, no cameras on, because I know they ain't gonna admit it. But I like to turn the cameras off, be like, yo, when you first heard, where did you first hear that sample? That's all I want to say. And don't bullshit me. Neither one of y'all did. You know what I'm saying? But nah, shout out to them, man. But yeah, we definitely sparked the idea. No question about it. Straight, keep going straight. We'll do this like you're gonna go all the way down. All right.
I think that was it, but I know I could think of something else until we get to the point.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Keep going.
The video that we shot in your basement with the Whitney Houston sample, what was that?
Oh, Vision.
Vision.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Tariq Ali, aka Bees. Killed that record.
Yes.
I have you know, bro, of the people that I consider, you know what I'm saying, like, I guess the fan base, that is a Tracey classic. Everybody, and I mean everybody that hears that record loves that. They put that in the top 5 of the Tracey discography. They put that in the top 5 of the Tracey discography. For sure. And it's in my top 5 discography. You know what I'm saying? Of all the records that I made,
I would have to say yes.
It's definitely in my top 5 discography for sure. You know, right there with the theme and all that.
You know what my number 1 song from you is, right?
Stars in the East.
Nigga.
That's in the top 5 of the discography too.
Woo.
You know, by you know, popular demand and the fan base. Stars in the East, Vision, Keep Your Hands High, the theme. Those are the 4 solids, like super solids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's number 5. Could be Pro Bono. People love that record. Stop Playing. I get a lot of reviews on that one. I know the top album to people.
Faces, right?
Nope, not anymore. Glory. Glory, for anybody that's heard the Tracey discography, Glory is number 1 there.
Did I shoot anything from Glory?
No.
Okay.
Glory is that was during the pandemic. That album, and I think that's the reason why. That was
OJ's, right? OJ's.
Yeah. And we did that in separate places. I was in my house, he was in his house. That's what also makes that album so incredible. You know what I'm saying? I did my vocals. I cut my vocals in my crib. I sent it to him. He, you know what I mean, did what he did on the production side, on his side.
Right.
And we created this work during a time that nobody knew what the hell was going on. So I think, and if you, and I think my man Kel says this all the time. Shout out to Kel. If you weren't around during the pandemic and you want to know what the pandemic was all about, go listen to it. It's like a time capsule. It's like one of them albums that spells out.
Straight, right?
Yeah, keep straight. Spells out the time. But I gotta come up with that number 5. What's the number 5 Trey Lee record in the Trey Lee discography? I guess I'll leave that up to everybody that got a Trey Lee listeners. You know what I'm saying?
When do the rights for your first album come back to you?
So we got 35 years. So that album dropped in 97. So we're talking about 2032.
Well, that's not that far.
That ain't that far. Gotta start getting my paperwork together now. You know what I'm saying? Because there may be a situation where I can get it before that. You know what I mean?
And maybe you can spell it right on DSPs.
Well, how do they spell it on DSPs?
The them.
Oh yeah, the them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who uploaded that. I have no idea who uploaded that. That was crazy.
The album that got shelved. Talk about the production and the songs. You got Kanye West on there.
Yep. Coptic, Charlemagne, D-Dot, E. Willis. Shout out to my man Eric Willis, Howard Cat, my brother. Who else was on there? Who did? Paul A. did production on that album. I think Pod did a record on that album.
Second album.
Yeah.
What label was that going to be on?
That was on Universal.
Universal.
I was still signing Universal, but that was during the time when Cash Money and Nelly and them came in into play. And so, like I mentioned before, that was when it was like a changing of the guard. So you had myself, A+, Cannabis, the Reaps, McGruff. We all ushered in, the beginning stages of Universal Records rap division, if you will, or rap, their attempt to compete in that market of rap music. Then after that wave, this was again 96, 97, then after that wave, we just started talking about the late 90s, like 90, I mean, that was all late 90s, but like the later 90s, 99, 2000, 2001, here comes Nelly, here comes Cash Money, a couple of other, I think, what's my man's name? Riding Dirty, I think he was up there too. He did Chameleonaire,
Mike Jones.
I don't think he was up there though.
The Houston scene hadn't come on yet.
Nah, they was later. But no, Chameleonaire was Houston, but I think he was like, and it was somebody else. What was it? Wanna be a baller, shot caller, Paula. I think that dude was there too. You know what I'm saying? But my way, highway, I can't remember that joint?
No.
You remember that?
No.
I bet you the people watch it. I'm saying, but anyway, that's what ushered in that wave, and so they were phasing our wave out. You know what I mean? But anyway, 215 was on deck. We got a budget for it. Kanye, young Kanye was a producer on there. Before he got to the rock, D-Dot was overseeing, the project, if you will. By this time, Mark Pitts and By Storm had went on to L.A. Reid and had to deal with LaFace. You know what I'm saying?
What's the name of his group that he took over there? It was two guys and a girl that was on By Storm.
Oh yeah, then my people's Blue, Babe Blue, Red-Handed. And damn, what was it? They gonna kill me, man. What was the name of that? See, this is when Goo was your friend, man.
They was from VA, I think.
One Life to Live.
One Life to Live, yeah.
No, they was from the Bronx. You crazy? Yeah, they from the Bronx, son. Yeah, One Life to Live. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on by Storm the Face. But you know they couldn't bring me with them because Universal, quote unquote, had to get their money back and kept me. I still question that to this day. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we made the 215 album. Kanye's on that album. You know, Coptic is on that album. Production, these are all the producers. Kanye.
Are you in the studio with Kanye?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, him and Chucky Thompson did Catch 22. I'm in the studio with both of them. And the funny part about that is we did Catch 22. I think we mixed it and I'm not going to even see. I have a problem calling this place what it was called now because it sounds suspect. But we was in the studio.
His house.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we was in that studio that Sean Combs owned, and I'm not calling it what it was called. But anyway, we was in there. How did he get away with getting it called that? I don't know. Like, and that anyway.
Different podcast.
Hindsight looking, none of us should have ever called that studio what it was called. But nevertheless, we mixing it in there, and you know, the mix, we think we got the mix there, but then Kanye comes in there and blows it. This is not it. This doesn't sound, I mean, and that's why I tell people, Kanye has always been Kanye the way he is. It's just that once he got billions, it's just a illuminated version of it. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he came in there and just destroyed the whole, in a good way though. Because when he came in there, he started adding elements and parts in there that we didn't think, you know, needed to be in there. He like, what are you doing? Why are you taking that out, man? That's the good part, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, him and Chucky Thompson crushed that record, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he did 2 tracks, he's like that and City to City. And City to City was a record that got circulated because I heard some people in Chicago had cut that record before, same track and all that. And again, this is when producers used to circulate beats, and so wherever it landed, and if it landed in the right spot, then that's the people that got to use it. But people in Chicago tell me all the time, yeah, such and such cut that record years before you got a hold of it, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't the same lyrics, you know what I'm saying, but same track, same format, all that, you know what I mean? But I never knew it at the time. I didn't find out till later. But Coptic was on the album, production, Charlemagne produced on the album, D-Dot, of course, produced on the album. My man Pirate produced on the album, P.I. My man Parlay produced the record on the album. Who else? E. Willis, you know what I'm saying? That was one thing about Mark at the time, like that was kind of unheard of for a new artist. He allowed us to have a lot of say-so in the direction, in the production. You know, for new artists, you know, usually you'll try to bring in a whole slew of producers that got names and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Are you fixing my lapel mid interview?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so you know when usually you're a new artist, you're gonna have a whole bunch of name producers coming in. You know what I'm saying? And the label's gonna have a lot of say-so on how you're supposed to be presented in the sound and all that. But I'll give Mark his kudos on that. You know, we had our fingerprints on every project, on every record that we did while we were signed by Storm. So salute to him for trusting and giving us the autonomy to go in the direction that we felt like we needed to go in at that time. You know, we had Buckshot on the album, we had Corrupt on the album. Now I'm getting into the MCs. We had Buckshot, we had Corrupt, we had the late great Black Rob on the album, my man, the late great Fever from the Reaps on the album, God rest his soul. We had Cassandra from Changing Faces on the album. We had Fierce on the album, Picasso Black on the album. This is all Crazy Cat artists. Lady May was on the album. I mean, it was a dope album. Like, you know, for anybody that goes to my website, TraceyLeeMusic.com, I have the album on sale, you know, there for you to purchase. You know what I'm saying? In case you want to put your ears on that joint. But you got to go back to a 1999 Tracey Lee. So, you know, the content is going to be different. You know, I'm single, I'm still young, I'm still kind of wild. So if you put it in that context, then that's that's what you're gonna hear. But the skill set is still there, so you ain't got to worry about that. We let off with a single called "We Like," Mr. Fist and Diggy Doms from DC, Question Mark Asylum. They had the lead single. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it was a dope project. As a matter of fact, shout out to Fat Man Scoop, because he was on that record too. The late great Fat Man Scoop. He was on the We Like record.
Y'all shot a video for that?
Yeah, we shot a video for that. You know what I'm saying?
I remember seeing that on The Box.
Yeah, you might have. Yeah, you might have. Matter of fact, we shot that video in Atlanta. Brian Barber, Outkast videographer. He shot that video. Ludacris is in the video. You know what I'm saying? Before I got a hold of these cats before they blew. Kanye, Ludacris, Lil Jon. Ludacris and Lil Jon was in the video before you knew who Ludacris and Lil Jon was. You know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of the One More Chance video.
Yeah, it was a house party.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was definitely a house party. It was. Listen, it was a quality, dope project that just never got the push. You know what I mean? And I explained to you why certain things get pushed and certain things don't. You know what I'm saying? Profit sharing, profit losses, profit margins, losses, gains, tax implications, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Comes into play. But, it is what it is.
You went head to head with Big.
Mm-hmm. Pause.
Yeah.
I don't even play them games, but that was wild right there.
Okay. You on a record with Big.
Outlandish.
Yeah. That was
that was egregious.
Sheesh. Later on, you hold your own with Mace.
Yeah.
On That's What's Happening.
Right.
Was that a Tracey Lee record that didn't make the album?
Nah, that was a dot record.
That was a dot record.
That was on his album.
Okay. Yeah.
With Ghetto, with Raekwon on it, and Eminem.
I'm thinking, did it start off as? I'm thinking it started off as a Tracey Lee record.
No.
Okay.
No, that was a D dot record. That was a D dot special. And that album was dope too.
Yes.
But nah, that was just. I'm trying to think. I think he had somebody else on that record before Mace, if I'm not mistaken. You have to ask Dot. But it wound up being Mace on it. But I think somebody else laid a verse on that record. And I'm drawing a blank as to who it was. But I mean, that record was a group. Like during that time, that record fit right in that mode. You know what I'm saying? It's very, you know what I mean? It was one of them records, got you moving, you know what I'm saying? And the lyrics, kind of spoke to that. It was, some gutter talk, but it was, you know what I mean? The pockets was being met and the flows were there. You know what I'm saying? It was a fun record.
Yeah, it put you in the mood of Get Money.
Yeah. More Money, More Problems.
Yeah.
It was in that vein. Yep, it was in that vein. But it was a dope record. But yeah, 215 eventually got shelved and we got dropped. Made it, you know what I'm saying?
But you get to keep that album, right?
I mean, I kept it. I don't know. And the thing about it is, Universal owned. They paid for it. Yeah, but I think it'd be a situation. It'd be an amicable thing if I called them up and was like, "Yo, can I get that?" I think and I don't. And honestly, it was that big fire or whatever happened. I don't think anybody knows where those masters are. I think they might have got burned in the fire. So, I mean, but they still own it. But yeah,
right.
Yeah. You won't find that record anywhere other than people that actually have it. Like it's not online anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Or if it is online, it's because it derived from people that got, let's just say, the advanced copy. You know what I'm saying?
What songs have you done with other people that haven't seen the light of day?
Oh, I got a record with Faith called Showtime.
What?
That was the first record I cut at an attempt to when we were trying to figure out, a record to hit the streets with. There was 2 records that I cut before the theme dropped. And the theme was the one that stuck. But it was Showtime with Faith, where we used, shout out to Ron Lawrence, at D-Dot, where we used Road to the Riches and Faith is singing.
You got that?
Oh yeah, I got that.
All right. When we turn the cameras off, you gonna play that. I love Faith.
Oh yeah, so we got that record, and then we got the D'Angelo joint. I like it like that, where we use the lady, and it's just me and bar work, and the hook was catchy and crazy. And I remember doing Nas's double platinum party for It Was Written in Atlanta at Atlanta Live, and this is right when the theme was just starting to sizzle, and I opened the show up with I Like It Like That, and the crowd went crazy. Kid Capri was DJing, and he don't remember this, but I remember this distinctly. He's like, yo, Trey, when you gonna give me that record? That record is crazy. No matter of fact, he had the record, because we white labeled it, and we just serviced it. And he's like, yo, this I Like It Like That record is crazy, da 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 da. I mean, but some people have heard that I Like It Like That record, but not that many people have heard Showtime. Even though we serviced it to some DJs, I was brand new back then, so there were a lot of people that were, kind of in denial. I'm from Philly. They don't know where I came from. Even with the theme, if it wasn't for Red Alert, we don't know if we on the map, because there were DJs that got that record and was like, nah, that ain't it. Da, 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 da. Then Red Alert said, no, this record is a go. And then they put it on Battle of the Beats, High 97, Angie Martinez, she can attest to it. And then it won the first night. Then it won again the second night. Then it won again the third night. And that's when the fanfare started to come on. But Red Alert is the one that really opened the door for that record. But again, going back to these other records that we put out there before the theme, I think, the politics came into play. So people was like, oh, who's he? Why, who? Yeah, Mark, I know you, man, it's big, but who's this? I know you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I got that record. I'm sitting on that record.
It'd be dope if, like, you know how they had to have these jazz fests?
Yeah.
Like, if you came out doing a Pieces of a Dream set.
Oh, that'd be crazy. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Yo, if y'all listening, you know what I mean? My Monterey brothers, if y'all listening, yeah, let's make that happen. We at the age, I'm at the age now, you know what I mean? I'm your young boy, so y'all was already out there doing it, living La Vida Loca, you know what I mean? So now, a person like myself in his mid-50s would love to, do the thing with, you know what I mean? You at these jazz fests and all of a sudden Monterey Groove come on, and then we just kind of throw in, you know what I mean? Everywhere the mock and the Mr. Zigga, zigga, zigga. That would be crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, we gotta work on that. Let's tell people about the scripture and what we got coming next couple months.
So yeah, man, we just been hitting people with a bevy of just bars. You know what I mean? We, for lack of a better term, taking it back to the essence, beats and rhymes. We set off the summer with the pivot, you know what I mean? Shout out to OJ's, and there's a story behind that, because really, Young Guru started off with the production on that, you know what I'm saying? We got some footage of that, you got footage of that.
Yes.
We might let that out the cage, you know what I'm saying? Let y'all get a sneak peek of the real beginnings of that record, but OJ's, the Mighty O. The Mighty O, let's be clear, that's his name, the Mighty O. Like he, took that record and put the sauce on it, and we released the pivot, and it went crazy. Then we re-released Butter Soft for the summer, you know what I'm saying, which should be a summer anthem every year. Shout out to Jermaine Hard Soul, who not only produced that record, but is also, the co-writer and co-artist, you know what I'm saying, on that record, you know what I mean, who really sets the record off with that hook. So that's been bubbling this summer. And then we just recently put out another Beats and Rhymes joint produced by the Mighty O, you know what I'm saying, called The Scripture, which, to let the cat out the bag, we did that record 4 years ago, but y'all wasn't paying attention. But I always felt like, it needs to be heard. And I think the visual of that record got the record heard in its proper, is getting the record heard in its proper form. But that record is 4 years old, man. I did that joint in 2021, maybe at the end of 2020. But y'all wasn't hearing me. Just like y'all wasn't hearing me on Many Faces until 30 years later. But that's just, I've gained solace, and now I'm completely comfortable with the fact that a lot of times I just be ahead of schedule with regards to what people are inclined to receive from a music standpoint. You know what I mean? But I've always been like that, and I used to get frustrated with that. But now it's just like, I do what I do, and certain ears just got to catch up. You know what I'm saying? So whether it takes a day or two, or a year or two, or a decade or two, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it's going to be. But that's just the type of artist I am. So nevertheless, Scripture, we dropped this, and now we're starting to catch the ears of people. And we just kind of like warming you up. I don't know if I'm going to drop a solo album, but there is an album coming down the pipeline. And I wonder, should I let the cat out the bag right now, or should we just wait until, you know what I'm saying? Let's wait. Okay, but I will say this.
They're going to figure it out in a couple weeks.
Okay, I will say this. There's some promo coming down the pipeline that I think people, especially people of our generation and of our ilk, and since there has been a renaissance of the OGs coming out to play, you know what I'm saying? It's only right and it's only apropos that these OGs come out to play. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. You know what I mean?
All right. Any other shout outs? People? Oh, we got to shout out your DJ.
Man,
Blinks.
DJ Blinks.
mentioned Blinks.
DJ Blinks. Listen, when you start talking about top 5 Tracey Lee joints, Blinks got, I think I'm putting pro bono in there, and Blinks did that record right there. I mean, Blinks is my partner in crime, man. When it comes to recording my vocals, when it comes to, certain ideas that we have, when it comes to just creating the atmosphere that I think, me as an artist want to, create at this stage in the game, Blinks is an intricate part of that, because Blinks is a DJ, Blinks is a producer, and Blinks understand how to move the people with the music. So shout out to my brother DJ Blinks, intricate part of this whole operation, man. Couldn't do anything without that dude, you know what I'm saying? Him and the Mighty O are like, you know what I'm saying, like they facilitate everything that we essentially need. And then also, I want to give a shout out to, I already said Jermaine Harso, I want to give a shout out to Lindsley and MC over in the UK, a production machine over there that we're about to do some work. I want to give a shout out to my homegirl Aiko out of Chicago, probably the meanest female, I ain't gonna just say female, one of the meanest producers on the planet. We're about to get something cracking. Jermaine Harso already told you, we're about to get some things cracking. Me and the Mighty O got some things coming down the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to D-Dot, big brother. You know what I'm saying? Who else?
You got a joint with
Diamond.
Diamond D.
Shout out to Diamond D. We got some things cooking in the pot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, it's about to be, look, for the next year and a half, 2 years, you're about to get an avalanche, a whole avalanche. Shout out to my man Bees, again, Tariq Ali, you know what I'm saying? Trying to think of some other producers. Like, we got a stable of producers. It's a camp over here that you're about to get hit with a bevy of sounds, a bevy of quality production. Me and Tone about to do something, you know what I'm saying, with a series of freestyles and things like that. So shout out to you, Gadget. Like, yeah. Quality and quantity is on the way.
All right, let's go listen to this Faith.
Peace.